The cold crept into her bones long before the sun dipped behind the buildings, and the city lights flickered on like indifferent stars, watching without seeing. The girl stood barefoot at the corner of the busy street, her dress thin, faded, and far too big for her small frame, clutched at the waist with a piece of knotted string. Her hair was tangled by wind and dust, her cheeks hollow, but her eyes, those eyes, still carried a fragile fire of hope. She held out her trembling hand, not boldly, not loudly, but with a quiet desperation that only hunger teaches. "Please," she whispered to every passerby, her voice almost lost beneath the horns and footsteps, "just a little bread, it's for my brother." Most people didn't stop. Some pretended not to hear. Others glanced at her for half a second, then looked away, convincing themselves it wasn't their problem. A woman tightened her grip on her handbag and crossed the street. A man dropped a few coins without looking at her face. But bread, real bread, was what she needed. Coins couldn't silence the hunger that twisted her brother's stomach or stop the cough that racked his thin body every night. Her brother was 6, too young to understand why their parents never came back, too young to accept that love alone could not fill an empty belly. He was waiting for her in the alley behind the abandoned bakery, curled under a torn blanket, believing with the stubborn faith of a child that his sister would return with food. She remembered his smile that morning, weak but trusting, when she promised, "I'll bring bread today. I promise." That promise weighed heavier than the cold. As the evening crowd thickened, the smell of food drifted through the air, fresh loaves from a cafe, roasted meat from a nearby restaurant, and each scent was a small cruelty. Her stomach burned, but she swallowed the pain. Bread was for her brother. She repeated the words like a prayer. Then, just as her arms began to ache from holding them out, a sleek black car rolled to a smooth stop near the curb. It didn't belong to this street. The windows were tinted, the body polished, silent and expensive. The door opened, and a young man stepped out, his shoes untouched by dust, his coat perfectly tailored. People noticed him immediately, not just because of the car, but because he carried himself with calm confidence, the kind that money and power often bring. He was known in the city, young, brilliant, a self-made billionaire who had risen faster than anyone thought possible. But in that moment, titles meant nothing to the girl. She only saw another adult who might walk past. She lowered her eyes, took a hesitant step forward, and whispered again, "Sir, please. Just bread. It's for my brother." The men stopped. Truly stopped. Not the half-step of politeness, but a full pause, as if the world had tugged at his sleeve. He looked down at her, really looked, noticing the dirt on her hands, the way her fingers shook, the quiet dignity in her posture. "Why bread?" he asked gently. She lifted her head, surprised by his voice, by the absence of irritation. "Because my brother is hungry," she said simply. "He hasn't eaten since yesterday. I told him I would bring bread today." There was no practiced sadness in her tone, no performance. Just truth. Something shifted in the man's expression, a memory perhaps, buried deep beneath success and comfort. He reached into his pocket, then stopped himself. Instead of handing her money, he knelt so their eyes were level. "Where is your brother?" he asked. The girl hesitated. Adults asking questions often meant trouble. But something in his eyes, steady, sincere, felt different. She pointed down the street. "There," she said. "Behind the old bakery." The man stood, glanced once at his driver, who nodded silently, and then said, "Show me." They walked together, an unlikely pair, through streets that whispered stories of survival and loss. The girl walked carefully, afraid this kindness might vanish if she moved too fast. When they reached the alley, the man saw the boy curled against the wall, his face pale, his breathing shallow. The girl ran to him. "I'm back," she said softly, brushing his hair. "I'm still trying." The man felt a tightness in his chest he hadn't felt in years. He crouched, removed his coat, and gently placed it over the boy's shoulders. Then he stood and made a call, short, firm, urgent. Within minutes, food arrived. Real food. Bread still warm, soup, fruit. The girl watched with wide eyes as her brother ate slowly, carefully, as if afraid it might disappear. She didn't touch the food until he smiled and pushed a piece of bread toward her. The man watched them both, realizing that in all his wealth, he had rarely seen something so pure. That night didn't end with a single meal. It was the beginning of a change. Shelter followed. Medical care. School. Not charity thrown like scraps, but a hand offered with respect. The girl never begged again, not because the world suddenly became kind, but because one person chose to listen. And the young billionaire? He left that alley quieter than he arrived, carrying a truth no balance sheet could show, that sometimes, the smallest voice can stop the loudest life. If this story touched your heart, if you believe kindness can change destinies, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, because more stories like this deserve to be told, and more hearts deserve to hear them.